All right, live at halftime of Patriots Falcons, and Falcons still not good. Joined by Pete Trano. Pete, what's up, my friend?
Not too much, man. That intro music hypes me up, man. When we're counting up, it gets me going, man.
Right, it makes me want to drink a Monster Energy drink. Not
Uh,
sponsored. Monster, not a sponsor, but
Sugar free for me.
sugar free. Yeah, yes. Gotta watch the figure. All right, Pete, we got 5 games, 5 winners. We got to go back and tally up what the record is. I meant to do that before we got on, but
Oh yeah. If you want to stall for a second, I think I broke even. I think we just broke even.
all right.
Well, let's see. So, yeah, because I went 3-2 last week, and I was 17 and 18-1. So we are 20-20-1.
All right, we're getting ahead this week. I know it.
I feel it.
Let's start with the first one. Indianapolis Colts at the Buffalo Bills. What are you thinking about this one?
All right. Well, last week I was on a Colts over, and they kind of just gave up, like on the Jags. They kind of left the Jags back in the game. I thought the over would cash with the Jags, and it didn't. So this week they got the Bills stout run D. They're going against an impressive Colts rushing attack. And most metrics will tell you that the Bills are the best defense in the NFL currently, and they're the betting favorite to win the Super Bowl by a slim margin over the Bucks. I don't buy that totally. Ideally, I would be looking to fade both of these teams moving forward. So that's why I kind of like the under here. The Bills, they've had a soft schedule, and yes, they beat KC, but they also lost to the Titans. They've lost inexplicably to the Jags. I'm seeing a little bit of wind and rain in the forecast because, I am the weatherman, apparently. But it's Buffalo, so I'm not so worried about the rain. That doesn't really matter. But the winds with Josh Allen, it wasn't too long ago that people were worried about that. So I could see a lot of running. And, even though the Colts, they're built to run, they are an indoor team. They are a dome team. So I think that'll affect them a little bit. And Frank Reich, he's a smart coach. So I think they'll try to pass the ball a little bit because, they kind of count the stout rush D. But I see this more as a sloppy game with if the weather holds up like that. Like I said, two teams I'm looking to fade. My numbers agree with my instincts. So I like the under 50. I think you can get 50.5 now, but I score this 27-20 Bills.
Yeah, 50 feels like a lot for this one because I agree. I think it probably is an ugly one. I think Buffalo's a good team, but like we said before we started recording or went live, that they've beat up on some bad teams, and I just don't see this one going the way of a shootout. I know Indy is like every week it feels like which Indianapolis Colts are we going to get, but they can definitely run the ball, and Wentz hasn't been terrible. I think they with Pittman and some of the other weapons they have there, they should be able to throw the ball a little bit. But 50 just feels like a lot, especially with the weather, like you said. I would lean the under as well. I think this one will be a good game, though. I'm interested to watch this one for sure.
Yeah, it should be a fun game.
All right, moving on. We got Green Bay at the Minnesota Vikings. What do we think about this one?
Okay, well, this one should be a fun game. Don't look now. Aaron Rodgers, he's got a toe injury. Joking aside, he does. He was on the injury report, but this Packers defense came up from the gutter. Apparently, they're good. They're only allowed 18 points per game. Still no Bakhtiari and Aaron Jones, but AJ Dillon has emerged.
Oh yeah,
I bet they're glad that they drafted him in the second round. Or does it not matter because running backs don't matter? But whatever. But I could see a game where the Packers look to establish the run. I think it was LaFleur's first year. Like LaFleur likes to run the ball, and I think he would if he had any other quarterback. We know Zimmer likes to run the ball, even though Cousins, by most metrics, he's like a top 5-10 quarterback. He's not sexy when he does it, but when they need to throw the ball, when they're down, he gets it done. The Packers, they have a top 3 pass defense in terms of yards per game. Again, I see this as a close, like kind of grinded out, coin flip kind of division game. And Minnesota is addicted to close games. So my numbers agree, and the market agrees because this has dropped to 47 on some books. I think it might be, I might have ticked back up to 48, but it was at 47 when I was writing this. And, I like the under. I like the under a lot. It's under 49 is what I got it at. I score this 24-21 Packers.
I don't have a whole lot to add. I'm pretty much in lockstep with you on that one. I think that this will be two teams desperately trying to run the ball on one another. And I could see one of them getting out ahead, but I don't think it'll go the way of, whoever has the ball last wins. I think if someone gets out ahead early, they try and take the air out of the ball and, salt the lead with the run game. So I'm with you on the under on that one. All right, let's talk Ravens at Chicago Bears. What do we think here? I like this one. This is spicy.
Yeah, this is a little spicy, right? This is a numbers play. The Bears are coming off a bye, and the Ravens are coming off like that mini Thursday Night Football bye. Admittedly, I'm a lot lower on the Ravens than most, especially their defense, which I believe is a lot more name than actual talent this particular season. The Ravens, they should have lost the Lions, the Chiefs, the Vikings. Those were all close games, especially that Lions game. That was like the false. When the clock wind down, I think that was happening, or they didn't call it, and then it was like a record-setting field goal.
Yeah,
the Lions, who couldn't beat the Steelers after they tried to give them that game. And then they lost to the Dolphins with Tua with the freaking broken finger, basically. The only thing that worries about me about this game is Wink Martindale. He's known to blitz, and Justin Fields is I didn't look this up, but I'm assuming he's the most sacked quarterback this year. But Lamar hasn't practiced all week. He's with some kind of non-COVID sickness, and I think, at least when I got it, I thought the 6 points was a little bit too much. And once again, my numbers and the market agreed with me, because on Wednesday, this number was 4.5, and it's now, I think you can get it at 5.5. But I'm taking the Bears +6. I think the Ravens do just enough to win. But I also think that Fields, he's frisky, man. He can do enough with his legs to keep this close, keep it within the number, and good teams win, great teams cover. I'd be very, very happy with the Ravens win and a Bears cover, because, that'll help my Giants get another top 10 pick in next year's draft. So I scored this 23-20 Ravens.
Yeah, I love what you said about Fields, because I don't think he's been like great by any stretch, but I think he's starting to settle in a little bit, and he can do enough to keep it interesting. And I agree about Baltimore's defense. They're just banged up. A lot of people hurt, kind of still getting by on a little bit of reputation. Still good players there, but I think this could be closer, especially after watching how they played Miami last week. Like that game, everybody and their mother thought it would be a rout, that the Ravens would just beat up on the Dolphins and run away with it. And it was the exact opposite. So you could lean the side of, does Baltimore come out fired up, or maybe it's just, the Bears can do enough to keep it interesting. And 6 points is a decent amount of points.
Yeah. And it's like, to Lamar's credit, like the Ravens are nothing without him. If he's slightly off, and they used to be able to cover it with their defense. And now that the defense is not playing up to where they used to be, if Lamar is not perfect, it's a rough outing for the Ravens.
Yeah, and if I remember right, I have to double check this. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty sure Hollywood missed practice today as well.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Could be wrong. I thought I saw that pop up at work, but I'll have to double check that one.
Maybe they'll freaking give Tylan Wallace a chance.
Please, God.
Maybe he would have extended his hands for a touchdown like Sammy Watkins did.
All right, let's talk New Orleans Saints at the Philadelphia Eagles. What do you like here?
Man, I like the Saints. This is going to be pretty much the same handicap as last week.
Yeah.
It's once again me backing the Saints on the road as a sub 3-point road dog. This team, though, I think that they're more equipped. Well, I think the Eagles are less equipped than the Titans were to score on this defense. I love this defense. They should have beaten the Titans last week if it wasn't for that touchdown drive that was pretty much aided by the officials. I power rank the Saints 3 points better than the Eagles, and over the last couple of years, home field advantage just doesn't count for the full 3 points anymore like it used to. So I don't know really who the Eagles are. And I'm not sure the coach does either. But what I do know is who the Saints are, and I love Sean Payton. This, like I said last week, I love Sean Payton. I love that he could scheme, and he did a good job. And Simeon's done well enough. Yeah, but this game I have a bigger edge than I did last week, so I'm taking the points this week though, because last week I did get crushed by that, because I would have covered if I took the points there. So I am taking the +2 and a little bit of lunch money on the money line because I'm a degenerate, and I see the Saints winning outright, 25-11.
All right. All right. The last one we have here, Cincinnati at Las Vegas. What do we think about Bengals Raiders?
Bengals Raiders. I am once again back in a team coming off a bye versus a team coming off an embarrassing loss.
You have a
besi-
type.
yeah, I do. But besides that, though, I love this matchup for the Bengals offense. The Bengals have the offensive weapons to exploit this Raiders defense, cover 3 defense, just like the Chiefs did last week. The same thing. I think the Raiders are a team that has already dealt with crazy adversity, and it's probably starting to catch up with them. The Bengals are getting a little bit healthier on the defense side of the ball, and they're a sneaky, decent defense. They're not good, but they're decent. And I believe they do just enough to keep Carr in check and outscore, just outscore them with their dynamic passing attack, because the Raiders can score, but I like the Bengals to keep it close, and I think they'll win this game. I'm taking the Bengals as a slight road favorite, -1. I score this actually 27-22 Bengals.
Yeah, I love that. I can't believe the Bengals aren't favored by more than 1. Honestly, I think the Bengals whoop up on the Raiders. I really do. I think that they come out firing on all cylinders. So I'm with you there. I would have taken the Bengals, minus probably, 3.5. I'm still in on the Bengals.
Yeah, this is my biggest edge of the week.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. All right, so that's under 50 in Colts Bills, under 49 in Packers Vikings, Bears +6 against the Ravens, Saints +2 against the Eagles, and Bengals -1 against the Raiders. Perfect timing. We're getting back into the second half of this Pats Falcons game momentarily here. Pete, I appreciate you taking the time to join me as always.
Thanks for having me, and let's go Damian Harris, please.
Later.
Later, man.